Hey, freak boy. You're the big boss? Too slow. What? Gotcha.
Wait! We're on the...
Don't even think about it, Juji. If you shoot the little lady, I'll have to take you down.
Wait. I can sense something. The weight of the guns. And the sudden appearance. You know, it's almost as if...
Grave, put your guns down.
Grave? So that's who you are. I had no idea you were still alive. What am I saying? We're all dead after all.
Who's he? Friend of yours?
The man's a legend. So tell me, just how long has it been since you crawled out of that coffin of yours, huh? Beyond the grave.
Alright, so it's time for the game to introduce the two new characters to us.
The name's Billy. Rocket Billy Red Cadillac. I guess you'd say I'm a ghost. And my...
Yeah, they never really explain how the whole ghost thing works other than the fact that he's possessing the electric guitar.
Enough. They don't need to hear our life story.
In any case, it's a pleasure to meet you. And your little friend, too.
A ghost haunting an electric guitar, and a blind, dead soldier. Quite a crew we've got here.
Grave looks significantly more tan in this game, almost like he's black, even though I distinctly remember Brandon Heat as a human being white, but whatever.
Let's put him on the team.
This is in a very Western setting, so I don't think he was meant to be Asian.
What's the problem, Juji?
This isn't some game, RB. It's kill or be killed out there. What good will these little brats be to us?
Chill, man. We could use the company.
There's something else. I've got to tell you, there's something about this kid that I don't like. I can smell it.
What's with this guy? You'd think someone so old would know some manners.
Stuff it, you little brat.
Hey, just a minute, Juji.
You too, Spike. Watch your mouth.
Do you mind? I don't smell a thing. What's wrong with you, Juji?
Listen, I'm serious here. This kid is gonna be a problem.
Oh, it's okay. He can't help it.
What? I'll skin you alive, you little bastard.
Now.
Hold it!
Let go, you loudmouth ghost.
Well, anyway, it was nice meeting you.
Alright, moving on to stage 2. So we've got to go to several different locations here to track down some possible seed locations. So everything is pretty much par for the course at this point. We're pretty much following the same objectives we've been following so far, but now we have two new team members. They will not be joining us during gameplay, however. We have to play as one or the other, and levels do vary depending on which ones you choose. The other two characters are still currently in playtesting right now, so I don't really know for certain how the game varies. I mainly just wanted to test run. I mainly wanted to make sure Graves' run through the game was thoroughly tested before I did the Let's Play, and then I'll worry about the other two characters when they are relevant.
You're one to talk. It's exactly what we've been doing.
Did you say something, RB? I don't trust these kids. We did okay working on our own. Let's leave well enough alone.
I say we try them out. It's not like your gut instinct is always spot on. But what do we have to lose? Okay?
Do what you like.
So, if I didn't say this before, this game is easily 4 times as long as the original Gungrave game, and because it has three characters instead of one, which all play distinctly differently from each other. It is just, this game has immeasurably more content than the previous game. Juji, he is a lot faster than Grave, and his attacks are a little bit weaker, but he's much more melee reliant than with his guns. His guns are not as powerful as Grave's, obviously. And then Rocket Billy uses electric guitar, which is a very unique attack. I can't really describe it until we get to his gameplay. So speaking of gameplay, we're back in his Grave, and this has to be one of the most entertaining things I've ever done in a video game, which is destroy a grocery store. You guys have no idea how badly I've wanted to do this. I mean, when I first got this game, it was, you know, maybe a year or two after I had done a Let's Play for the first game, and I was just like, oh, I'm so happy right now after being able to play this sequence. So we're still fighting the same generic Syndicate enemies, the same guys we've been fighting from the unknown organization that we're currently taking on, who's distributing seed. There's going to be a big guy coming out of this door here in a minute, but one thing we have to worry about in this room is obviously the melee guys as well, but also the guys running around on the produce carts or whatever. For some reason they just have like belly flopped onto them and are sliding around, and they can knock us down actually if we're not careful. But I'm just shooting everything, destroying all the racks, all the shelves, all the columns holding the place up. Just destroy all of it, leave nothing left standing. I'm going to go into burst mode for a minute here. I'm just trying to accumulate enough demolition shots because we will have a mini boss we have to fight later on in this mini part of the stage. So, as they said as Mika said during our briefing, we have 3 separate locations we're going to try to track down the seed. There's the big guy who just came in just now, but yeah, the first 2 locations will be contained in this stage, and then we'll have to go through another cutscene before we get to the last stage. So, well, that was great. The guy with the rocket was hiding right behind him at just the perfect time, where I killed the big guy and his rocket came through and hit me. Alright, into the meat locker we go. Yeah, this is going to be lovely. So we've got to go downstairs, actually, to where the meat freezer is and hope to find the boss. There's a negligible amount of enemies coming up here, so nothing really we need to worry about. This is another area where I was talking about orienting your camera, and how that's important, because like I said, dude, there is camera control in this game, but it's flawed. This do not enter thing looks like it's actually part of the game's interface, which I don't know why. It's gone now. I mean, maybe they're just trying to keep us from going down there while the enemies are coming out, and it's like, okay, fine, you can go. It's not one of those sort of arcadey looking things that the first game had, but the first game didn't have that little pop-up, if I remember correctly. Or at least I didn't provoke it to ever appear. Yeah, if I can keep around 2 demolition shots, I'm not at all worried about the boss coming up. He's not terribly difficult. He's just a mini-boss anyway, so. Ugh, all this meat.
This one must be the boss. Be careful.
Yeah, thanks for that, Mika. We didn't just get done explaining that. So this room, of course, is surrounded by meat carcasses, hopefully pig carcasses from the look of it. And they're all moving around the room on the little hook things and getting in our way, unfortunately getting in the way of the line of fire. I got some good hits on him with the charge shots there, but nothing too great. I kind of want to get out of the way here and line up some better shots so I'm not getting trapped behind the pig carcasses. Like I said, he's nothing really to worry about. He's basically just a fast melee type enemy. He's got the same kind of swords that the other melee guys have, which I don't know why these, you know, mafia organization guys feel like they need to carry around a giant fucking scythe arm, but it's whatever. So that didn't do the trick, though. I thought that demolition shot would do him in. Let's go ahead and finish him off there. And like I said, no end of level or end of stage score screen here, because we're not done yet. This is obviously just one part of the stage.
They stink.
Stop!
What? Enough! If we let them live, they'll just end up back in the grip of Seed. I'm gonna set them free for good.
No!
Juji!
Sons of...
You guys are just amazing.
He seems oddly amused with that display. Yeah, Juji certainly has an affinity for carnage, and he doesn't like to take any prisoners, I guess, which is unfortunate considering that we don't really jive that way. If we kill somebody, it's whatever, but we're not into senseless slaughter.
Try here next.
His design kind of reminds me a little bit of, I mean, all the Night Owl designs are pretty much, you know, universally similar in some way. Like he has a very defined art style, and I very much appreciate it throughout all of his works. But I guess he kind of reminds me a little bit of Zap from Blood Blockade with his white hair there, and his personality a little bit. But his personality is, you know, he's arrogant and just very, very, very hot-headed. Which I wouldn't say that that's a Night Owl trope necessarily, but it's definitely evident in other characters as well. So this area is a little bit annoying. I don't particularly care for this area. There's a lot of shipping containers here, a lot of which are carrying enemies, and some of these rocket guys as well. There's a lot of exploding barrels around here, none of which are really placed in a way that they can damage enemies if we destroy them, but I just want to destroy them not only just to get them out of the way, so they can't be an obstacle for us and potentially do some damage, but also to where I can get my beat counter up high enough to get some more demolition shots, which I have plenty of right now. But there will be some big things coming in our way soon. And there's actually one area towards the end of this section that I want to use a demolition shot in, but that won't be for a little while. So you're going to see me stop here to get my shields back, and then I'm going to be continuing on. This is one of the caveats of this area, it's like a random front loader that's over here for some reason, or maybe it's a forklift that has a shipping crate on its fork. Yeah, I guess that's what it is, because we destroy with the charge shots there, if we charge them up all the way, we can destroy the entire thing and leave nothing left, pretty much, which is great. But if you half-ass it, if you don't destroy it all the way in the first go, or if you don't create a big enough explosion, you will destroy the shipping container that it's holding, and the forklift will remain intact. So you'll have to keep doing damage to that in order to destroy it. And again, it won't have as big of a hitbox to knock you down with, but it will still be able to knock you down if it hits you, which is really annoying. So we're going to be encountering quite a few of those as we go here. I'm kind of taking it slow through here because I want to make sure that I only trigger a certain amount of enemies to appear at a time. And there's no real way to tell where they're going to appear from and when, except from just trial and error. Of course, if the enemies keep appearing, you know you're going the right way. Even though this can be a bit of a confusing area trying to figure out where to go on top of these containers. I can just kind of, using the forward dodge, I can just kind of leap from one container over to another one. That was not a good jump. But yeah, basically with the forklifts, like I said, the first thing I did with the one that appeared back there was do that 180-degree turn to face the other way. I guess we can keep going down this way, waiting for them to fire their rockets so I can knock them back or get out of the way in that case. Yeah, most of these crates are too high to jump up onto from the ground like that. You have to have some other means of getting up there. So, and trying to jump his grave is really awkward because obviously you need to be standing perfectly still. So you carry almost no forward momentum with you when you do it. So otherwise we're just leaping forward like that with the forward dodge roll kind of maneuver. But actually jumping is a little more difficult than it sounds. I guess we can get up here from the ground. These are slightly shorter than the other ones back there, the reddish ones and the greenish ones. But you got to be standing perfectly still and then carry your forward momentum after you've jumped. I did it earlier in the hotel level to jump over a guardrail. We'll be doing it again later on in the game as well. But you can also kind of extend your shot combo by jumping and shooting, but it doesn't really do it very much, especially not as much as it did in the first game. So I really wouldn't recommend it. Managed to not get hit there. That guy's melee attack was headed right for me. This is where we just were. I probably need to get one higher up here. There we go. Now we can leap across the top here and get over here, across this wall right here. And who builds a what is this, a shipyard or whatever is what this is called, where they have all the containers out here? I don't know what they call this, but who builds it like this, where they're all sort of, you know, blocking your path? Shouldn't they be in a way to where you can easily navigate between them? You know, set up in rows and columns like that. These are just set up so arbitrarily that it makes it hard to navigate around. Of course, I'm trying to put logic into a very arcade-style video game level, so whatever. Alright, I'm going to use a demolition shot here only because there's a bunch of these big guys, and I'm kind of low on shields. Like I said, that's a great way to replenish your shields, is to have a demolition shot, because just like in the first game, when you use a demolition shot, you replenish like a significant chunk of your shields, and you can replenish more shields depending on what level of demolition shot it was and how powerful that was, and it's almost critical to have them in order to stay alive in certain situations, because there's sometimes where you simply cannot catch a break during a fight and you need to be able to turn the tide by going on the offensive. So boss battles and certain combat situations like that are very dynamic for that reason, that you're kind of putting pressure on the enemy even though you're taking damage, just so you can get that you can get a high enough combo to replenish your health to not die in order to keep doing what you were already doing. So very, very well designed gameplay in this game, I feel like, compared to not only the first one, but other games in this genre for this era, because, you know, it's not Devil May Cry. I actually tried to play the first Devil May Cry the other day, and my disc apparently is not working, which is a shame.